So it's 2026 and there's a lot of new stuff coming over the horizon. But should you really care? Well, we're going to talk about that and more on today's episode of the Geek Watch podcast.
This is the Geek Watch podcast with Brian Hatcher and Mandy Petry.
Greetings, Geek Watchers, and welcome to episode 259 of the Geek Watch podcast. I'm Brian Hatcher, and with me, as always, Geek Watch's very own resident geek goddess, Mandy Petry.
Hello, Brian.
Welcome to 2026, and let's talk about the nominations for the Oscars.
Yes, and we have made history today, Brian, something that I am so excited about, that I have wanted ever since I can remember. Finally, some recognition. A horror movie
Yes.
has become the most nominated film in history.
Yes, Sinners, which I
Yes.
have to say was easily my favorite film of last year.
Excellent, yeah.
I
can see that.
because it got 16 nominations.
Mhm.
Pretty much anything you could have stuck it in and get a nomination. It didn't have a nomination for Best Actress.
Yes, Best Supporting Actress.
It's Best Supporting Actress, but
Yes.
not Best Actress.
Okay.
It wouldn't have surprised me if they got a nomination for Best Short Documentary. They pretty much took it at 16 total.
Yes,
if I recall.
16.
Of course, I'm a big horror fan, so horror
Right.
getting
A
respect.
horror movie that was not based on a Stephen King novel. That hardly ever happens, and it's usually for makeup or something. Maybe you'll get an actress every now and then. I think Kathy Bates is the standout that I can remember, winner for a horror movie. Sir Anthony Hopkins, if you consider Silence of the Lambs a horror movie, which
Yeah.
I do.
Well, the other thing that I find surprising about Sinners is it's also an Oscar movie with a predominantly black cast
Yes.
that does not have a savior white person trope in it to get nominated. Because normally, if you
The
have
Blind Side and
The Green Book,
Mhm.
The Help.
Help, yep.
Yeah. So normally, if you have an Oscar nominated,
Hidden Figures, I believe.
yeah,
That's got a bit of that
the Kevin Costner
character too.
that plays that. So, I mean, The Color Purple, you don't see that character, but for the most part, if you have a predominantly black cast,
You're going to have that. I was thinking about Kevin Costner. We're looking at Dances with Wolves.
Yeah.
That's a predominantly POC cast, and it still have that white savior complex to it.
oh
Yes.
yeah. And so I'm glad that a movie is getting that much recognition without having those kind of tropes.
Yes, and we're looking outside the Oscar bait box,
Oh yeah.
which gets me really excited. The one thing is the costumes and going historical drama, but I'll forgive it.
Oh yeah.
I'll forgive it this time.
Oh
but,
yeah.
I always want my sci-fi to win
Oh, yeah.
costumes, but which it never does. It always goes to historicals. I can deal with it.
Yeah, we've had some moments in the past where some of the really creative sci-fi fantasy can get there. I think there's a prejudice to actual costumes because with a historical costume, there is a standard set there, obviously. With a sci-fi costume, a fantasy costume, there isn't any kind of set. It's not like you could get it wrong because it doesn't actually exist. But there's a level of creativity to the fantasy and
Which is
sci-fi.
why I think that they should win, because when you're going historical, that's what they wore. You're just meeting that standard. You're just copying what they had.
Yeah.
So you're still telling a story, but I think that there's an element of creativity that comes with generating these costumes. Like, there are no fastenings on Jedi robes. They're all tied, and George Lucas talking about not having a bra because it'll strangle you or something.
Well,
that's
they
for
don't wear
that.
underwear in space.
That was the thing. It'll
yeah.
strangle you.
I will say that last year I made some predictions about the Oscars this year that I got completely wrong
Sorry.
because Wicked got completely snubbed.
Yes.
They didn't get
not one, Brian.
not anything at all.
Nothing. Not design, not music. I could not believe they got nothing. No score, no best song, nothing.
No costumes. We'll go back to the costumes.
I considered it a fantasy world. So they had to create those in every town. Every race in Oz has its own look to it. So it absolutely deserved it. I was floored that they didn't get anything.
I figured they would get a couple of Oscar nominations. I didn't know if they would take anything home, but I would have thought at least they would have gotten a nod somewhere. And it was like
Makeup?
Yeah.
I mean, the Tin Man and
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it looked so good.
Yeah, it was really
I
strange.
didn't think it would win, just the acknowledgement, but no.
My thought was they would have looked at this year's season as basically Oscars for the two movies together in a real
Yep.
sense. The second movie didn't do as well as the first one in the box office. I really liked Wicked and Wicked for Good, although the second half of the musical, or in this case, the second movie, because it is much more reliant upon The Wizard of Oz,
Yeah.
it has to be a little more slavish to that story. You don't have the freedom to play around like you do in the first movie. There's no defying gravity in the second half, although No Good Deed, Thank Goodness, obviously For Good
Mhm.
are great songs, and they were wonderfully performed as well. Like I said, I suspected that Wicked for Good wouldn't take anything home, but at the very least, I thought they would get a nod, but it's like nothing.
Not a thing.
Nada.
No, not even editing.
Yeah.
Like the Schmoshkers, the
Yeah, well, and that's the thing too. Have you had a chance to see it yet? It is now out. You can get it on digital
Okay.
at this point. So the reactions have started coming up on YouTube.
Ah, okay.
There is one scene, and I think we talked about this before, The Girl in the Bubble. There's a beautiful piece of editing in that song. You're looking at her reflection and it actually turns into her. Her reflection keeps turning into her. It's like you think it's her reflection, but then it's her. It happens over and over again. It's some brilliant, beautiful editing.
Yeah.
I would have thought at least that would have made them say, well, this deserves at least a nomination for editing. And the thing is, with 10 movies for Best Picture.
And this was
Yeah.
10 movies.
Yeah. Because they decided to go to 10 movies. I forget how many years ago they did that, where instead of doing 5 movies, they decided to do 10. And an opportunity to expand being able to say,
It gives
Oscar nominated.
credentials.
As disappointing as it is that they didn't get any nods, the fact that Sinners has gotten a bunch of them
Yes.
is amazing. I think it's fantastic. I also dread the thought of what happens if on Oscar night it doesn't take any awards home. I would be shocked if it didn't. I would suspect that it's probably going to win many of its categories.
If Michael B. Jordan doesn't, I'd be so
just
hurt.
for the fact that he played two characters
Yeah.
simultaneously.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, on screen, he's on there simultaneously. The fact that they interacted with each other so well and they felt like different people.
You know who you're talking to. Yes.
Exactly. I mean, even when one of them appears in a scene, whether it's Smoke or Stack,
Yes.
even though they're twin brothers and played by the same actor,
Right.
you can tell the difference.
Like as amazing as Jeremy Irons is, watching Dead Ringers.
Yes.
Yeah, but they were also constrained by the technology of the time.
Right.
There was a lot of back of the head shots of them looking at each other. You're hard seeing them side by side. There's a little bit of a disconnect there just because it was on film in the 1980s, so it wasn't bad, but you can get that much smoother transition now that we're on digital tape and things like that.
Oh, yeah. There were so many times when I would forget, there's only one Michael B. Jordan. He doesn't have a twin brother. It was one of those things that I appreciated more in hindsight because it took so much effort to remind myself that this was one person playing two roles. It was that good. There are so many good performances, the editing, the directing, the music.
Oh, the music. Oh.
Top to bottom, an amazing movie. I am overjoyed they got as many nominations as they did. I hope that they get to take some trophies home because they definitely deserve them. I will say, and this is going to foreshadow something I'm going to talk about toward the end of the podcast, but one thing that I noticed was, except for Sinners, I don't think any of the movies I've seen in the theater. We will stick a pin in that for now. But now that we are in 2026, I'm setting you up by saying this because I have a feeling I know what you're going to say already. Maybe set up some foreshadowing for later. But now that we are into 2026 with new movies coming and television, what are you looking forward to? Is there anything in the horizon that you're...
I don't really know.
See, I told you I was setting you up.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Is there any movies that you can think of that may be coming out this year that you're...
The one that we saw the trailer for today?
You're talking about He-Man.
He-Man? Okay, yeah.
I was going to ask you about that. I know you saw the trailer for it. It does seem interesting that they are going back to the old He-Man movie.
Yes.
It does feel like they're going down that theme.
We've talked about this on the podcast. You have a great fantasy film until the budget runs out, and then you get thrown through a portal into modern day Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So it kind of feels like what they went with. This
Yeah.
He-Man, everything does look amazing. And the Green Tiger,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
getting that in live action. Doesn't Skeletor look just amazing?
Oh, yeah.
So exciting.
I'm hoping we don't have another Mobius situation because I really, for Jared Leto's sake, I hope this movie does well because he's starting to get the reputation of being box office poison,
Ugh.
especially with what happened with the new Tron movie.
Oh,
That was the last thing he was in, and that didn't do well. So he's had a run of bad luck. He needs a one in the win column. There are some movies I made a small list of that I'm looking forward to because I didn't want to forget anything.
okay.
This year, the only movie that I've seen has been Labyrinth. There was a weekend re-release for,
Oh, was
for the
there?
anniversary.
I love the labyrinth.
So getting to see that in the theater again was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
That's really all that I've seen. And these are some movies we talked about before. I wrote these down because I wanted to get the dates right. The Bride that's coming out March 6th, I'm looking forward to, which is The Bride of Frankenstein, directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Yes.
And then June 26th, we've got Supergirl.
That looks very James Gunn.
Yeah. July 31st, we've got Spider-Man Brand New Day. I'm interested in that because, in a sense, you're doing a soft reset of the Spider-Man franchise for Sony. It'll be interesting to see what Tom Holland does with that role from this point forward. One thing about this movie that I found interesting is Tom Holland is so good at playing Spider-Man. I think sometimes the people who are making these movies forget he's not actually Spider-Man. Because of that, they got him doing some crazy stunts. Have you seen the practical web slinging setup they had for him?
Nope.
They literally had him on a cable that rocked back and forth so he could go from one rope to the other. And they had him on a dolly that they were towing with a truck. So they would pull him along and he'd be swinging free and going back and forth.
They have stuntmen for a reason.
Yeah, well, there was definitely a stunt woman who was doing some matchup for Tom Holland.
Ah.
But there was an issue with the rigging falling onto his head, and he wound up going to the hospital with a mild concussion.
Oh.
They had to stop production and shooting for a little while. They have him doing these crazy stunts, and it's like, dude, he's not actually Spider-Man, okay?
You gotta let the boy rest.
Yeah. But when I saw this truck going at full tilt and him literally swinging from a cable, hanging from this thing from behind, I cannot believe you would ask somebody to do that. It's like, he's not actually Spider-Man, but the fact that they're going to have practical web slinging, it's going to be interesting to see. I hope they don't continue to do that because they're going to kill that boy if they keep doing stuff like that. September 11th, which is a very unfortunate day to be opening anything. We're going to see Clayface, which is supposed to be absolute body horror.
Works with the character, yeah.
Also, November the 6th, and I'm really looking forward to this, Godzilla -0.
Oh, okay.
-1 was, to my mind, one of the best, if not the best Godzilla movie
So
we've ever
good.
gotten. It is so amazing, and the fact that we're going to get -0 and we may get another kaiju with this. Getting that
Of
treatment.
course, everyone wants it to be Mothra just because that's the
Oh, yeah.
that's who everyone knows. But
Well, not everybody wants Mothra.
Oh.
I can name one person who wants Gamera. And
yes, but I'm told that I can't have Gamera and Godzilla in the same movie because they're in by two different studios. Be that over and over again.
I still want it, though.
I do too.
I mean, there's been enough fan service. I mean, just so that Mandy can be happy, whoever's listening, get a message to him. Can we have the Godzilla Gamera movie finally?
This one in
just one for
Charleston,
Mandy.
West Virginia can be happy.
December 18th, of course, Avengers Doomsday.
Wow, that's going to be a...
It's a very important film for Marvel because they are doing a sea change with a lot of stuff and they're trying to get things pushed ahead. We've already had a bunch of movies that are just getting canceled at this point. The Blade movie is done now. They've already announced that, although they're talking about doing a Midnight Suns movie, which is, I guess the best way to describe that would be like occult Avengers. So it's a team of supernatural superheroes.
Yeah.
So that gives us a chance of putting Blade in there, but also Moon Knight and the Black Knight and those characters. So I think that it can definitely work, but this is going to be a crucial film for Marvel because they've kind of fallen off the track. They've lost a step through COVID, and now they need to get things back up again. And if Avengers Doomsday doesn't work, I don't know what they do from this point. The dark horse candidate for what I'm looking forward to this year is Werewolf, which is a Robert Eggers film. If you may recall, a couple of years ago, he did Nosferatu.
Oh, yes.
And now he's doing Werewolf
Huh.
with the same cast. So Lily Rose Depp is in it.
Oh,
Willem Dafoe is going to be in it. So they're definitely bringing people from Nosferatu in. So it's like they're doing their own Universal monsters, I guess.
Yes.
Well, obviously not the Universal monsters.
The Mockbuster.
Yeah.
Uh,
So if they're deciding to make a monsters franchise and basically using the same cast over and over again.
like an anthology series.
Yeah, in a sense, that'd be kind of fun. Although there's going to be some really tired actors, you know.
Wait till they get into Black Lagoon and they have to swim.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Although if you're going to do a creature movie like The Creature of the Black Lagoon, it's like, you know who you're going to cast for the creature, obviously.
Yeah, Doug Jones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously. So there are some things that I'm interested in that I'm going to check out, or at least that's my plan. On the television side, I think in a week or so, we're supposed to get Wonder Man.
Yes.
It's going to be a different kind of show, a different flavor than what we've seen from Marvel. I've already seen some pictures from the set of Daredevil Born Again. We're getting Jessica Jones.
Yay.
Definitely looking forward to that. There are some things that have me interested. On the television side of things, I haven't been watching a whole lot of stuff. The Doctor Who miniseries, The War Between the Land and the Sea, Disney has still not decided whether they're going to air it or not. I have heard nothing about it, but I have to say that my enthusiasm for this show has cooled a great deal. And part of that has to do with a spoiler that I've picked up. And we've talked about this before, but in Doctor Who of the last couple of seasons with Ncuti Gatwa and David Tennant before that, when he played the 14th Doctor, there was a character that I wasn't the biggest fan of, which was Colonel Christopher Abraham. He was a soldier, worked for a unit, and he and Kate Stewart, it was insinuated that there was a relationship, which I was not a big fan of because that was absolutely inappropriate for
An officer.
someone who's basically a subordinate dating a
Right.
superior. Kate Stewart as a character I thought was fantastic, and that tarnished that character a little bit because Kate Stewart should know better than to do something like that.
Yes.
You know.
Definitely.
But I mean, they were just hinting at this relationship. It's not like they could make it any worse. And
Until
then
now. Okay.
now they made the relationship more blatant. They actually kiss in the show. That's not what I'm talking about. Having them display their relationship on screen, I mean, this is a more adult show. And to my mind, there's no real difference between insinuating something and actually showing it. If it's happening, it's happening. You actually seeing it happen doesn't make it worse. What made it worse, all the time that I spent questioning why they had Colonel Christopher Abraham, why did they set this up as a relationship? What were they doing this for? What's the point of it? Now we know why they did it. They created this character and brought him close to Kate so they could fridge him.
Oh, okay. I thought he was going to be an alien, a spy or something. Okay.
Yeah. No, they basically
they-
fridged the character.
They got it. So
Yeah.
she could go for vengeance. Yep.
Yeah, so she could get PTSD and be able to justify why she makes some rash decisions.
Yes.
Including blackmailing her own psychiatrist for drugs
Huh. Okay.
to keep her on her feet during these negotiations with the Homo Aquas.
All right.
And as tropes go, I hate that
Yeah.
a lot.
So is that a Hal Jordan?
Actually, Kyle Radner.
Kyle Radner. Okay.
Oh,
But it is Green Lantern.
It is Green
Yeah, I
Lantern.
thought so.
It's messed up because it happened to Kyle Radner twice. He found 2 female relationships stuffed in freezers. And DC did it a couple of times with different characters.
Yeah.
It's definitely egregious when it's a male character and you fridge their female relation just to give them a motivation. I found that egregious, and I don't think it's that much better just because it's a male character who gets fridged. In this case, he's not actually found in a fridge. Someone is trying to assassinate Kate and he steps in front of the bullet.
Yeah, it's still.
You know, they fridge the
Yeah.
character,
Uh-huh.
especially in the situation where, the relationship came out of the blue in Doctor Who. Now, we need to speed date this situation to justify it so that when he does die, Kate loses her shit. That really sucks. But I said all that. Let's pull the pen out of what we stuck the pen in. There are some things that I've got on my list that I'm like, I could go see. But if I don't see them, I don't know how bad I'm going to feel about it.
Oh, okay.
There's some stuff coming out on TV, but I have to admit that I haven't been watching a whole lot of TV recently either.
Uh-huh.
I have been sticking my nose in some books. To be honest, when I look at hopping in the car and going to the movies and going to see something, instead have been going through Ursula K. Le Guin's Earthsea books. Well, there's something interesting on television, but N.K. Jemison's The Fifth Season is sitting right there on my table.
Uh-huh.
So I'm beginning to wonder, in some aspects, I'm turning into you, which is not a bad thing, but I'm wondering just how driven I am to go see movies anymore, because with all of the politics that are going on, it seems like movie studios now, they're more concerned with how do we develop monopolies so that we become practically the only game in town than
Yeah.
it is to create products that people are going to want to come see and spend their money on. I am finding some really good entertainment other places.
Yep.
The Jemison books, I just got my hands on the copy of the second book in the Broken Earth trilogy. I'm not at all worried about bad storytelling because it's amazing. All 3 books of the series were released a year apart, and every one of them won the Hugo.
Right. So it's going to.
So, yeah, and after finishing the first one, it was amazing.
Yep.
I would love to see that be made into a movie. But then again, I would hate to see that get made into a movie because I'd hate to see what they would do to it.
TV series.
A TV series, maybe, if they would give it the weight and the respect that it deserves.
Yeah, they got to quit turning novels into movies. They got to turn them into series. Stories need to be movies, and novels need to be series.
Yeah, I think that's the case. But,
Yeah.
here's the thing. Even with a big movie like Avengers Doomsday, as much as I have enjoyed the Marvel movies and am planning on seeing Doomsday, I got to be honest with you. If I had to make the choice between going to the theater and seeing Avengers Doomsday or sitting around Carter's table with you and Carter and Kevin and Cindy and playing
Daggerheart.
our Daggerheart game,
Yeah.
it's not even close. The stories I'm making with my friends, that one and the D&D game that I'm running with you guys and some other friends, and I'm getting ready to start up another tabletop game. The stories that we're sitting around the table and creating together are more exciting and engaging to me than what's coming out in theaters these days.
Right.
As geeks, I think that some of us are predisposed to play tabletop games and read science fiction and fantasy books.
Yep.
But I really do believe that more of us need to start doing that. I think just for the cultural literacy of it, because I really believe that Hollywood has got this in their head, that they are the movers and shakers of what story is supposed to be. And if your only experience and exposure to story is Hollywood movies and television, you are missing out in a huge way. Not to say that we're never going to talk about movies and television again or anything of that nature, but there's a lot of great story to be had out there that you're not going to see on a screen anytime soon. Old man that I am becoming now, it's become even more important to me to sit down and enjoy a good book or even find some of the old radio dramas that are online.
Love radio dramas.
The radio dramas are amazing.
Suspense.
Oh, yes. The Shadow.
The Shadow knows.
Oh, yes. A lot of that stuff. And then again, what we've been doing with the TTRPGs, sitting around and creating a story together, that for me has been absolutely amazing. And as someone who's running the game, you would think, well, how interesting can that be for you? You're creating the story. You know how everything's going to end. And
No, you don't. don't.
No, I don't.
Because of us. Because we
Exactly.
are wild cards and we mess you up every time.
I wouldn't even call it messing up because
Well,
you
yeah.
guys add so much. There are so many exciting twists and turns that I'm like, oh, this is where the story's going. That's awesome.
Uh-huh.
And so having that push and pull, I plant a seed and then what do you guys do with it? That's interesting and fascinating. What can I do with that? Being able to do that has been absolutely energizing in a way that I haven't experienced in a long time in a movie theater. There are those moments where some really good stories come out, like Everything Everywhere All at Once,
Mhm.
or even, the Wicked movies. There's some really good emotional moments in that. But compared to what we're experiencing at the tables that I'm getting to sit and
So everyone needs to pick up a book, pick up some dice, go do some improv,
touch some literary grass,
touch
I
some
think.
literary grass.
Because I feel that if we were to do that more, once people begin to appreciate story again and not the pablum that we're getting from Hollywood, maybe they'll figure out we've got to bring our game a little bit better. What we think is a passing grade isn't going to fly anymore because
gonna
they're
throw-
doing everything they can to.
We're going to throw off the curve.
Yeah, I think it's a curve that needs to be thrown off because their plan is let's get rid of competition so that there's not a whole lot of choices. There is competition out there they can't touch. If we find that stuff on bookshelves or around tables with our friends, they're going to have to step up their game if they're going to keep their audience. Whether they are able to do that or not, well, I guess we'll see.
We shall see.
And with that said, we come to the end of episode 259. Thank you for listening and tune in next time for the latest in geek news and views with the Geek Watch podcast. For Mandy Petry, this is Brian Hatcher, reminding all the Geek Watchers out there, we're all geeky about something. Be proud of yours. See you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Geek Watch podcast. If you enjoyed this program, don't forget to like and subscribe on your preferred platform and share this podcast on your social media. For links to all the ways you can listen to the Geek Watch podcast, as well as leave comments and suggestions, visit our website at geekwatch.net. The Geek Watch podcast is a Hanging J production.